Hey guys, welcome to our academic journey PowerPoint presentation. I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys to get started on this. So I strongly suggest you take some notes during this PowerPoint. The PDF for the PowerPoint is in your, it's enlisted under the files in Canvas for you. It's a pretty detailed PowerPoint, and what this is pretty much bringing you through how to plan for your success while you're here at CSUN, and the course to take to do that, to be most efficient while you're here. So let's get started. So here's you guys. This is you as you start your academic journey, right? If you think about a little baby chick, it's always open its mouth, waiting for mama to come drop some food in it. So we are going to explore lots of different things today in this PowerPoint. So first off, why is it not changing? Hold on, there we go. First of all, a little overview of academic advising. So getting academic advisement isn't the same as registering for classes. And depending on the semester and the year you are at CSUN, you will have to either get an advising session in order to clear a hard hold or not. You might be able to do it on your own. So it's up to you to know what is required of you. You're going to register for classes before the start of every single semester, and those dates will vary, and there's different requirements for each of the fall and or spring semester and or summer. Some of you will take summer classes. So while you work with your advisor to plan the classes that you're going to take, advising will continue throughout your CSUN career to support you in achieving your academic goals. So I strongly suggest that you meet with your advisors as often as possible when you have questions about anything academic, truly. So within the kinesiology department, each of you is assigned an advisor within your options. Remember, kinesiology is a major, and within that we have different kinesiology options that you declare underneath kinesiology. They're kind of like subdisciplines, but not. They're options underneath the kinesiology department. So make sure that you're paying attention to the advising requirements each semester. And let's talk a little bit about the hard holds. A lot of you will have hard holds placed on your registration each semester. And if you have a hard hold, it'll show up in your DPR. I'm pretty sure they send out emails as well through your CSUN account. And if you have a hard hold and you don't clear that before your registration date, and all of a sudden you're ready to register, but you're not because you have a hard hold, you can't register till you clear that hard hold. So really important to know how to do that, how to clear those. Sometimes it's just taking care of something, sometimes it's meeting with somebody, but there's different reasons that you're going to have hard holds. When you go to advising sessions, you definitely want to bring some items with you, and we're going to go over that during this PowerPoint so that you know what you should bring with you when you meet with an advisor. So knowing the steps to success are definitely going to help you succeed, clearly. So first part of it is knowledge. So you do have responsibilities along the way as far as making sure that you are completing the right prerequisite courses, that you know the difference between your GE courses and your major courses within the major, that you understand with each professor what their guidelines are for their grading. Every professor has the discretion to set a C- at whatever grade number that they want to assign to that. So it's your responsibility to know that and plan ahead to make sure that you are meeting the requirements, the prerequisites, the GPA, all that kind of stuff. Making multiple plans, and we're going to be making 3 different scheduling plans this semester, not we, but you, each of you, so that when your registration does come up, you've cleared a hard hold if you have it, you're ready to register when that date opens for you. You have a plan A that's your best plan. If everything works perfect, this is what you would like. And let's just say that your plan A, you go to register, but some of those classes are already filled. If you don't have a plan B to default to, then you're going to have to log out of the registration and go look into the catalog and make a whole nother plan. And it's going to take you a while. In the meantime, what's happening? other students are signing up for your classes. So important to have a plan A, a plan B, and even a plan C, just in case plan A and plan B don't work. Being flexible, because life does happen. Things happen over the semester. We have emergencies that come up in our family. We have emergencies that come up in our own lives, things that happen that could actually deter you from, graduating in the time that you really originally wanted to, or taking classes that you wanted to. Things might happen. So just being flexible and having an open mind and understanding that your health and well-being is more important than truly anything else. Seek advice from advisors. You have your assigned advisor, and you're going to figure out who that is if you don't know already, and have their contact information. And there are other professors that help advise as well. I am one of them that can help you in many ways. And then there's some general advisors that we're going to talk about in this presentation. Keep really good records, right? We call it CYA, cover your ass. So keep good records of everything, especially for those of you that have taken classes at other colleges or universities and you've transferred over. There are certain classes that are called something different at one university as they are at the other. Maybe it's kinesiology 102 here, but it's exercise and science 101 at another college. And if you keep good records of the description of the classes, the course catalog descriptions, and keep that somewhere easy to see, then when you meet with somebody in admissions to show them that, then you have proof to show them. So always keeping good records of everything academic-wise. And then just know and take the steps. As we go through stuff today, you're going to know and be more familiar with some of the steps. Some of the stuff you guys already know, some of it you don't know, right? But this is what this presentation is all about, so that you can know the steps and then take them. So a few terms that you should be familiar with. The first one is GE requirements, knowing what your general education requirements are that fall into your degree. You cannot graduate without a certain amount of GE requirements, general education requirements. Then you also have the required classes under your declared major. Now, some of you are in another major and wanting to switch over to kinesiology. So this is geared towards what do you want to do to, what are you going to do rather to graduate from CSUN, right? I have a few juniors in this class, and perhaps you're just taking this class this semester because you needed 3 units and you couldn't find anything open within your major, okay? Not ideal, clearly, but does happen, right? So if that's the case, then your major requirements within your major that you plan to graduate with. But for the majority of you, you are planning on kinesiology. So you're looking at the kinesiology major requirements, and we'll find that and be familiar with where to find that. The next term to be familiar with is your DPR. Knowing what the DPR stands for and how it can help you, how to find it, and how to read it, right? So your degree progress report, your DPR, pretty much is going to show you when you have declared a major, what classes that you have taken that count towards it, what classes you need to take. It's going to give you tons of options within that to choose from. And as you continue to take classes and receive credit for them, remember that you must receive and earn a C or above. A C minus or below does not count towards credit. So as soon as you earn a C or above in classes, then your DPR is going to change. It's going to reflect that you've gotten the credit for that particular class. Be familiar with your degree roadmap, and that's going to be a part of what we do with this assignment, is going in and finding your degree roadmap. It's kind of cool the way they do that, because it used to be called a 4-year plan. It's pretty much what it is. It's giving you a roadmap and mapping out what it's going to look like for you to earn your degree, and suggested courses in suggested orders, or in suggested order for each semester. Understand the difference between the 2 types of transcripts. One transcript is unofficial, the other is official. You do have to pay for official transcripts, and it's usually cheaper if you buy like packages of 5 or more at one time. They will come in a sealed envelope. Keep them in their sealed, individual sealed envelopes, because when you are, somebody's requesting an official transcript, they do not want it to be tampered with at all. It needs to be in its sealed envelope. Unofficial transcripts, doesn't matter. And some people will, ask for those in the beginning, but at some point, especially for grad school and so forth, licenses, credentials, stuff like that, you need official ones. So moving into your GE requirements, you can see this breakdown that there's 48 GE units total, breaking it down to 12 units in basic skills, the subject explorations of natural sciences, arts and humanities, social sciences, lifelong learning, comparative cultural studies, and then U.S. history and local government. So it pretty much breaks it down because you're at a liberal arts college, you're receiving a liberal arts degree with a focus in your major. In a liberal arts college and university, you are getting a general education, a little bit of, all the areas for the majority, and then you're really focusing in the rest of your education on your major. I want to talk a little bit about developmental math and English courses. The numbers are probably different than from when we first made this slide, but if you are taking any developmental math or English courses, or if you've taken those, these are prerequisites to get into the general math course and the general writing course, the general English course that you need to graduate. So if you're taking a developmental math or developmental English, they're a prereq. They do not count towards your degree. They count for you to be able to get in. You pass those to be able to get into the ones that are required for your degree. So just making sure that these are, they end up being extra classes, if you look at it that way, to help you, prepare you to get into the ones that you're required to get into. So two important names within the kinesiology department, and understanding that our kinesiology department falls under the College of Health and Human Development. Within our department chair's name is Dr. Dino Vrongastinos. He goes pretty much by Dr. Dino. And then Sangeeta Dubey is actually, I usually bring her in as one of our guest speakers, and she is the kinesiology advisor. Some of you have already met with her, but those two names are pretty big within our department to help you. There's some other names I'm going to bring up too. You already met Dr. Stesic. He's also an undergraduate coordinator, as is Dr. Kim Hennigy, but I'll go into those in a future slide. So within kinesiology, you do choose an option or a focus. Now, as Dr. Stesic mentioned in one of our past classes, athletic training is no longer an option under kinesiology, and it's no longer an option as a bachelor's degree. It is now moved up to a master's degree. They just accepted their last cohort for a bachelor's in athletic training this past spring. And so starting next fall, 2020, they will start accepting their first cohorts for the master's program if everything goes as scheduled. So athletic training is no longer an option to claim under kinesiology. However, some of you, if you're a junior, you may have already claimed that, and or a senior, but I don't think I have any seniors this semester. So of the other kinesiology options that you can declare under kinesiology would be physical education, exercise science, dance, sports studies, and applied fitness and active lifestyle development. So I'm going to unpack each of those just a little bit so that they make a little more sense to you, because you might have claimed something thinking it's something, and it ends up being something different. So the first one is applied fitness and active lifestyle development. And this information is all on the CSUN kinesiology webpage. But this option is, just as it says on the slide, it's designed to prepare the student with the necessary knowledge and skills to analyze movement and to be able to conduct administered physical fitness programs. Okay, so it's really good for a student that wants to be employed in a fitness assessment lab or fitness center or corporate fitness, something like that. It allows you to really learn how to assess and create programs specific for fitness, active lifestyles, and development. Okay. The second option is dance. We currently have two different programs within dance that you can bring dance into your graduate or your undergraduate career. You can choose to declare dance as your option under kinesiology. So you'd be obtaining a degree with kinesiology major and the option or focus in dance. If you're doing that, then you get a specialty in dance within the kinesiology undergraduate major program, like I just said. You can also claim dance as a minor. an undergraduate minor consisting of 21 units in the area of dance pedagogy. Pedagogy means teaching, or dance production, whether dance production would include choreographing or performing or both, right? So dance is a different option that declaring dance as your option. People that would take that route would be interested in teaching dance in either K through 12, secondary education system, or using it as a stepping stone to move into grad school for dance to be able to teach at the higher ed level. Another option under kinesiology is physical education. And after watching the Motivation Factor documentary, you can see that it's really important that we have more qualified physical education teachers that really are preparing our children, K through 12, to be healthier in every way whatsoever, mind, body, and soul, mental, physical, and emotional health. And so the physical education program does just that. So you would declare that, and you would also simultaneously work on your credential to be able to teach as well in physical education in our state. Another option is sports studies. This option is really designed for students who really like sport a lot, but they don't necessarily want to become a physical education teacher. They're not necessarily looking at becoming a clinician or a health professional of any sort in any of those occupations, but they really enjoy sports. Okay, so some of the careers that this could lead towards would be sport leadership, graduate work in sports studies, sport management, sport marketing. It goes stuff like that, related fields within that. The next option is exercise science. This is one of our heavier loads because a lot of people take this, declare this option in hopes that it's going to prepare them for athletic training, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and other allied health fields. And yes, it can definitely do that, but just as all of your advisors have pretty much mentioned to you, you can claim any option and still apply for these different programs and still be very, very versed in them. Okay, so if you're finding that the exercise science option is a little too heavy academically for you, whether it be the anatomy and physiology or the chemistry and the physics or whatever it might be, if you're finding that that's just too heavy of a load for you, it's just too much, then you can claim other options and still move into physical therapy or athletic training or any of those allied health fields. It is not required that you claim exercise science as your option in order to get into those. So I just want to be clear on that so that you understand. When you choose a kinesiology option, choose one that you really enjoy and that is going to prepare you, but that you're passionate about it and you're having some fun along the way. It shouldn't all be absolute misery. All right. And then remember, athletic training no longer is an option, although it just, is recently converting. So there are still a few of you that may have claimed athletic training if you are an upperclassman. So I put that slide in there still, and as of next year, I'll take that slide out. So some information on the athletic training, you can find it under the CSUN kinesiology department page and just go under athletic training. All of that is in there, but as Dr. Stesick spoke about, it is an MS program now, and you can claim any option. You don't have to do a kinesiology major. You can do any major. You can graduate with your BS in any major. And that's the same with physical therapy, FYI. You can graduate with any major as long as you've got your bachelor's and you've taken the classes that meet the requirements for admission into the program, okay? And this just describes a little bit about the new accreditation standards. This is all stuff that Dr. Stesick spoke about already in his lecture. So some of you are undecided. You are exploratory or undecided. They're called two different things depending on when you started here at CSUN. And so maybe you have not declared an option yet because you're still exploring or you're undecided as to what that is. So when you are ready to change, you do need to complete a change of major form, and that can be found online. Some of the change of majors, kinesiology being one of them, does have prereqs because we are a large program. We have so many people that are wanting to claim kinesiology as their major that at this point, there is a prereq if you're changing your major into kinesiology. So make sure you understand what those are. I believe that Sangeeta Dubey will talk about those. One of the other things to be aware of, this will appear once you have 75 units completed. This will appear in your DPR. You'll be needing to take your upper division writing proficiency exam. You do need to sign up for that and go take that. It's not a class, it's just an exam that you go sign up and take. And you must pass it in order to graduate as well. A little bit about physical therapy, because a lot of my Kin 200 students and a lot of you have claimed that you are interested in considering physical therapy. So understanding that our kinesiology department is completely different than the physical therapy department here on campus. And we don't have a pre-T program at CSUN at all. Now there's a pre-PT club that is out there. If you search for that, you can find that. That started up a few semesters ago. But as far as physical therapy and kinesiology and preparing, and again, you can get a bachelor's in any area, in any major. It doesn't have to be kinesiology. There's just a lot of people that feel that kinesiology is going to help them more than others. And again, that's just a matter of preference. But the Department of Physical Therapy is located in the building right next to Redwood. It's in Jacaranda. And if you are interested, then go over to the department chair's office there in the department office and look at some of the stuff they have, ask some questions, see when there's some info sessions, start to, explore over there, because there's nothing in the kinesiology building to really help you. The prereq requirements for physical therapy is a bachelor's degree, again, in any major. I just want to point that out. Doesn't have to be kinesiology. So if you like kin, great. But if it's not really your thing and something else is really more, interesting to you, then get your major in that. Declare a major in that. The other prerequisites or requirements are the prereq courses that are listed of human anatomy, and there's a few others in there. So I didn't put it all on this slide, but just understanding where those are, you could just go to the CSUN PT website. The GRE, you have to take the GRE exam, both the analytical, verbal, and quantitative portions of that. The 200 PT hours are required. So you are observing 200 physical therapy hours under a licensed physical therapist, and they're signing off for you. And then 3 letters of recommendation, at least one of them from a licensed physical therapist. So notice that at the minimum GPA for a prerequisite to get into the PT program at CSUN is a 3.0. But I also know by experience of talking to many of the doctoral candidates that they had above a 3.75 as their GPA. So just understanding that it is extremely competitive to get into the program. And while it does say a minimum of a 3.0 prereq, people that are getting in are closer to the 4.0. So just being aware of, they're not looking for people that are just average and meeting the minimum requirements to get into the physical therapy program. They're looking for people that, are really taking it seriously. There's a few how-to guides that can help you with a lot of the advising and information just across the board. So there's some links there. Understanding your responsibilities as far as grading goes. So at the university system, pluses and minuses all count towards your GPA. So a C and a C plus and a C minus, they're all different as far as how they weigh in on your overall GPA. Now, understanding this as well. So if your GPA falls less than a 2.0 at the end of any given semester, you will be placed on academic probation. Now, if by chance you do not raise your overall GPA after that semester of being on probation to a 2.0 or above again, then you will be disqualified from the college, from the university, which means you will be let go from the university. So important, if you are on probation, to look at the classes that you're taking and make sure that you're taking classes that are going to give you the time and the ability within your life outside of work and the workload within those classes to raise that GPA up again to a 2.0 or above. Okay. Touching a little bit on grade forgiveness, and I put in parentheses, they forgive grades, but they don't forget them. So what does that mean? That means that within your first 16 semester units at CSUN, you can repeat up to 16 units, one repeat per course. Okay, so any course in your first 16 semester units at CSUN that you take that you earn a C- or below, and again, the grading system on this slide, the 1.7, that's for GPA. Those are numbers for GPAs, okay? Understanding, again, what is a C and above as far as numbers go on a grading scale for each of your professors, because they are all going to be different. There's no number across the board that says, yeah, 73 or below is a C-. It depends on the professor. So again, the grade forgiveness means that you can repeat up to 16 units, which if you look at units, right, most of your lecture classes are 3 units. If you have a lecture and a lab, that's 4 units. If you have an activities class, that's 1 unit, right? So you can repeat up to 16 if you earn a C- or below. If you earn a C or above, you cannot repeat them. So that's what that means. Here's some more links to help you guys to find information. Again, kinesiology falls under the College of Health and Human Development. You are all undergraduates, so there's information about undergraduate studies, as well as athletic training, physical therapy, and the kinesiology department links. So here's the thing, a lot of times when we get into college, we feel like we should be prepared for college and we don't really need any help and we should be doing great, but that might not be the case, because you might be great in certain subjects and other subjects might be really overly challenging and overly overwhelming for you. So take advantage of the Learning Resource Center. Not only will they give you Scantrons, I'm pretty sure for free, but they'll give you some other really cool things to help you with your academics, and they'll provide tutoring for you in some of the hardest areas. So look up the Learning Resource Center. Each department also has their own department tutoring. Usually that's by either grad students or juniors or seniors that have done well in those different areas. I know in the kinesiology department, especially for 346, they start holding group tutoring sessions. You'll see them out in the halls of Redwood doing that tutoring. And then there's online tutoring available as well within each department. So, speaking personally, back in undergrad, I really did not do well in 2 different areas. Political science was not my forte, and chemistry. Really had a challenging time in chemistry, and I did seek out tutoring in chemistry, and it definitely helped me pass my chemistry class. So important to just kind of keep our ego in check and do what's best for us to be our best selves. And sometimes asking for help is the best way to do that. So to review, crucial steps to success. Take the appropriate courses at the appropriate time. This is super, super critical. So if there's prerequisites for classes, or if you're looking at the way that your roadmap maps stuff out, if you jump ahead and take classes, even if they may not have a prereq, before you've taken other classes, you might be setting yourself up for not success, but the opposite of that, right? Another question to think about each semester is, how many units can I really handle this semester? And look at your entire schedule, right? So you've got student athletes that are full-time students. You've got full-time students that are working 1 or 2 outside jobs as well. You've got, some of you have responsibilities at home, whether it's your own family because you have children or whatever it might be. Or maybe you're the oldest in the family and you have responsibilities at home in addition to all the other things you do. So it's really important each semester to look at how many units not only can I just handle this semester, but how many can I really kick butt and be my best self and do my best at. That's really important each semester, because each semester will be different. Second question before you look at coursework is, Are there any prerequisites, or as I look at my degree roadmap, does it look like certain courses are going to help set me up better if I take them in a certain order before I take other classes? And finally, understand that some of your classes will count both towards your GE and your major, which is cool because that means you just take them once and they count in both areas. So let's go into your assignment for academic advisement. There are different assignments within this, but the major thing you're going to be doing is creating your own advisement folder. You're not turning this into me, but if you do have questions about anything, you can bring it in and ask me. This is something that you would bring into your advising session. So you're organizing your own academic advisement folder, and you're creating it and getting it ready for when you do meet with advisors, all right? So assignment number 1 is to find your degree roadmap. And what I did is I put a screenshot with directions on each of these slides so that you know exactly what it looks like when you find it under the degree planning tools. Once you sign into your portal and go to your quick links, you'll see degree planning tools, and there's 3 different steps there. The top step, number 1, is your degree roadmap. So print it out. That's all you have to do is click on step 1, degree roadmap, print it out, place it in your advisement folder. That's assignment 1. Assignment 2, same thing except for your DPR. So in that same degree planning tool, step number 2 is your degree progress report. So click on that and print it out. Now, each time you meet with an advisor, print out the most current version of your DPR. Don't bring in an old one. Don't bring in one that somebody else has written on from another semester or that you've written on. Bring in a clean sheet because the advisors like to write on that piece of paper with you, and it needs to be the most current, okay? Assignment number 3 is step number 3 in this, the registration planner. Now, depending on your registration date, you have a window where you can actually go into that registration planner and start to make your schedule. Okay, so some of you are going to be able to make it within the planner already, and some of you are going to have to wait. You're going to have to make it manually on your own just by going into your degree roadmap and making your own different schedules. So you're going to create 3 different schedule options for next semester for spring of 2020. Okay, that's what the registration planner is for this assignment. So you'll make one within registration planner, and I think you can make multiple options in there, but if you can't, then make the other 2 manually on your own. If you cannot make your registration planner yet, you don't have access to it because of your registration date, then make your plan A, B, and C for spring 2020 manually on your own, all right? Assignment number 4, your kin major requirements. If you go to that link right there, it should open right up for you. Choose the appropriate year that you started at CSUN, and then print that out and place it in your advisement folder. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like as well. You could go to that link and you'll see your kin major requirement forms. You're going to click on 2016 to present. This is what the top of the form should look like. So if you see this, it's 2 pages long. The top of the form should look like this: catalog years 2016 through present, and it starts with your prereqs in science and math. There's 2 pages to it, okay? Next part of the assignment, number 5, is your kin advising policies. So if you go to the kin department website page, under the student tab, click under advising and continuing students, and then look at the advising policies for kinesiology, the kin advising policies. This will then come up, and you can see exactly what it looks like. Major in kinesiology advising policies. Print it out, place it in your folder. All of these are giving you information for when you do your advising, who to get in touch with, when to get in touch with them, and what classes to choose from, right? So you're just putting together your own advisement packet. Next, assignment number 6 is to create your advisor page. This is a page that you're going to be creating on your own. So the 2 things that you're creating on your own are your 3 different A, B, and C schedules for 2020 spring. And then this is the second. You're creating an advisor page. This gives you instructions on how to find your advisor. Okay. If you click on that link right there, it should bring you right into the advisors for fall 2019 as well. You go into your option and then find your advisor that way. Okay. There's kin faculty that have areas of expertise in all these different areas. So anything that you're interested in, you can also click on that on the kinesiology homepage and find which professors might be good to ask information about as well, okay? Here's an example of what your advisor page looks like. If there's a picture you can find of your advisor, great. Copy it, paste it, and put it on the document that you're creating. At the top of the document, just put advisor page, and then each of these areas, advisor name, and put their full name. Advisor email, put their email. Advisor phone, put their phone. Advisor office, put their office. Office hours, put their office hours. So it should look exactly like this. If you can't find a picture, that's okay, but if you can, it's going to help you more because you'll be able to remember what they look like when you see them, all right? Your kinesiology advisor pretty much is there to help you with general information about your academics for both semesters. They also will sign your graduation paperwork, so it's important to develop a relationship with them. And they're there to mentor you. But just remember, each time you meet with them, always bring a current printed out DPR, okay? Finally, assignment number 7 is attending your advising session for registration for spring 2020. And again, you're going to find out where that is under your advising policies. Make a note in your calendar so that you know when yours is coming up and where you're supposed to go, when you're supposed to go. All right, that's pretty much what that slide tells you. So those of you that are freshmen, which is the majority of my class, each major and option within the Department of Kinesiology has different advising policies. So that's why I'm leading you through this so that you know what to do for you. Okay, all freshmen under 30 units total that you've completed, you still complete your advising requirement by attending a special freshman workshop led by the academic advisor for kinesiology, Sangeeta Dubey. And again, she'll be coming to our class hopefully this semester. She usually does as a guest speaker. So here's the 2 kinesiology undergraduate program coordinators. Dr. Kim Hennigy is one of them. And so if your last name ends in A through L, then she would be your undergraduate program coordinator. Otherwise, if your last name ends in M through Z, then Dr. Shane Stesick, who came in to our class to speak about that athletic training, is your undergraduate coordinator coordinator. And these are the things they can help you with. All right, on this slide, you can read through that on your own. Sangeeta is the kinesiology academic advisor. So we've got 3 different advisors in addition to your individual advisors that can help you with stuff. All right. Finally, learning to help yourself. There are so many resources available. So yes, go to advisors, but also help yourself as well. Don't always rely on other people to tell you what to do with stuff, right? It's best to come with questions and show what you've already done on your own and already looked into on your own. If you are, again, making a change, fill out a change major or minor online form, and you just have to get it approved and signed by the department. And kinesiology, Sangeeta will talk about kinesiology if you're wanting to transfer into kinesiology. I think those requirements change a little too often, so I want to make sure that I'm on board by having her telling you. So graduation, when you have completed 90 units, okay, including works in progress. So if you look at your DPR and by the end of the current semester, let's say this semester right now, right, you're a junior, and you, by the end of the semester, December this year, you will have completed 90 units. Then this is the time that you apply for graduation. So make sure that you have applied, because here's the thing, when you have applied for graduation, you get priority registration during your last semester at CSUN as well, okay? So to just sum up this whole entire presentation, your lab assignment for the academic advisement has 2 parts to it. Part 1, complete all those 7 steps on those slides that we talked about already and create your own advisement packet. Hold on to that. If you have questions about it, bring it into me. When you meet with your advisor, bring it in, okay? It's for you to have to be ready for your advising sessions. Part 2, this is the part that you submit to me. Submit the following documents on Canvas. So plan A that you created from your registration planner. I don't need B and C, just A is fine, just to show me that you've at least created 1 sample plan A schedule for spring 2020. And even though it says the number 4 here for your advisor page, it should say number 2. I will correct that before I post it in your files tab of Canvas. But part 2 of the lab assignment that you're going to submit to Canvas is the advisor page that you create yourself of your advisor's information. Those 2 things are the only 2 things that you're handing in from the academic advisement lab. All right. This slide just recaps everything that you're putting in your packet: your degree roadmap, your DPR, your plan A, B, and C for your registration that you create, your kin major requirements, your kin advising policies, the spring 2000, actually that should say 2020 advisor assignments. We're not doing that. You can get rid of that one. I need to update this before I put it in your files. And then your advisor contact page that you create. Put all of that in a folder. A 3-pronged folder is best because then nothing is going to fall out with these. And then bring that to your advisement sessions. All right. So look, you guys, this is what you look like now. You're like this really cool eagle that's just soaring through your advisement sessions now. So I hope this was informative for you guys, and this will give you information for when Sangeeta Dubey, Dr. Dubey, comes to speak with us. And any questions that you have that I don't have answers to, she'll be able to answer for you guys. So thanks for listening, and I hope you found this informative.